The dealership told you this hybrid would save you $2,000 in fuel over the next 3 years. They didn't mention the $4,500 battery failure risk the moment the warranty expires at 100,000 miles. Most reviews will tell you hybrids are the pinnacle of efficiency and to tell you to ignore the long-term cost. We aren't doing that. By the end of this deep dive, we won't just tell you if the fuel savings are real. We will prove mathematically why buying a used hybrid or EV out of warranty is often an avoidable financial disaster. Let's be specific. The core argument for the hybrid is fuel consumption. If you drive 15,000 miles a year at $3.50 a gallon, a conventional sedan achieving 30 miles per gallon costs $1,750 per year. A hybrid achieving 50 miles per gallon costs $1,050. That is a $700 annual saving. Over 5 years, that's $3,500. But is that money actually in your pocket? If you paid a $3,000 purchase premium for that used hybrid over a comparable gasoline model, your break-even point is a little over 4 years. 3,000 divided by 700 is roughly 4.3 years of ownership before the fuel savings even cover what you overpaid at the dealership. Now here's where the trap closes. If the car experiences a high-voltage component failure at year 3, before you've even broken even on the premium, you've only banked 3 years of savings, $2,100. Subtract the $4,500 repair cost from Act 1, and you are not even. You are $2,400 in the hole, and that's before you account for the $3,000 premium you already paid at purchase. Add that back in, and the true damage is $5,400 against a car you thought was saving you money. This is the part the dealership math never shows you. Fuel savings are a slow drip. Battery failure is a single, catastrophic subtraction. One bad afternoon can undo 3 years of careful budgeting. But mileage changes everything. Let's run the sensitivity analysis because it depends on your driving isn't good enough for a forensic audit. We need the actual crossover point. At 15,000 miles per year, $700 per year saved. Break even on the premium, 4.3 years. This is the marginal case. The hybrid math is real, but fragile. At 20,000 miles per year, annual fuel cost drops to a $933 annual saving. Break even on the premium, 3.2 years. Comfortably inside the typical 8-year per 100,000 mile hybrid component warranty window. At 25,000 miles per year, the annual saving climbs to $1,167. Break even in under 2.6 years. At this mileage, the hybrid isn't just worth it. It's the obviously correct financial decision, warranty risk included. So the real rule isn't hybrids save money or hybrids are a trap. It's this: the hybrid math only works if you can break even on the premium comfortably inside the warranty period. Below 20,000 miles a year, you are gambling that the battery outlives the coverage. Above it, you're not gambling, you're winning. The myth is that hybrids are lower maintenance. The reality is that they are different maintenance. While you save on brake pads due to regenerative braking, a verified fact, often 30 to 40% longer pad life, you incur costs on the high-voltage inverter, the water pump for the hybrid system, and the DC-to-DC converter. According to RepairPal data, the average cost to replace an inverter assembly on a mainstream hybrid is between $2,800 and $3,500. The standard gasoline alternator, $400 to $600. The math is this: for every dollar you save on brake pads, you are carrying a contingent liability of thousands for the electrical drivetrain. Let's itemize the components most reviewers skip entirely: the inverter converter unit. This is the component that converts DC battery power to AC for the electric motor, and back again during regenerative braking. It runs hot, it runs constantly, and its cooling system is a separate, dedicated loop, which brings us to the next line item: the hybrid cooling system. Most people know their engine has a radiator. Fewer know their hybrid battery and inverter have their own entirely separate cooling circuit with its own pump. Replacement of this secondary water pump runs $300 to $600, not catastrophic on its own, but it's a maintenance item a gasoline-only mechanic won't even think to check. There's a psychological trap buried in all of this too. Because hybrid maintenance is less frequent than gas maintenance, owners develop a false sense of security. You go 3 or 5 years without a major bill, and you start to believe the car simply doesn't have expensive problems. right up until the one component that was quietly aging the entire time finally gives out. Gas cars fail in a slow, visible trickle of smaller bills that keep you paying attention. Hybrids fail in long silences punctuated by large bills. Neither is worse, but only one of them lulls you into skipping the inspection. This is why an independent pre-purchase inspection matters more for a hybrid. This is the forensic core of the issue. A hybrid battery, typically nickel metal hydride or lithium-ion, has a finite life cycle. It is not an if, it is a when. When the battery cells imbalance, the internal resistance increases, the engine runs more to charge the battery, fuel economy drops, and the vehicle eventually enters a limp home mode. Here's the mechanism, specifically. A hybrid battery pack isn't one battery. It's dozens of individual cell modules wired in series. Over thousands of charge-discharge cycles, cells age unevenly. One weak module drags down the whole pack's usable capacity, the same way one weak link limits a chain. The car's computer compensates by running the gas engine more aggressively to protect the pack, which is why my hybrid's MPG has dropped, is often the first symptom of a battery that's still technically alive, but dying. At 100,000 to 120,000 miles, you are on borrowed time. A refurbished battery pack, rebuilt with a mix of tested, used, and new cells, will cost around $2,000, typically with a limited one-year warranty. A new factory pack can exceed $4,500, including labor and software recalibration, because the car's computer has to be reintroduced to the new pack characteristics. Chemistry matters here. Older nickel metal hydride packs, common in Prius generations through the mid-2010s, and many Ford and Toyota hybrids, are more tolerant of partial degradation. They fail gradually. If you bought that used car for $18,000, a $5,000 battery repair just increased your effective purchase price by nearly 30% in a single afternoon. That's not a repair bill. That's a second down payment on a car you already own. There's also a third option most reviewers never mention, sitting between pay dealer price and roll the dice, the independent hybrid battery specialist. A growing number of shops specialize exclusively in cell-level diagnostics, testing each individual module in the pack, replacing only the 2 or 3 weak cells, dragging the average down, and rebalancing the rest. This can run $600 to $1,200 instead of $2,000 to $4,500, and if the rest of the pack has genuine life left, it can add another 40,000 to 60,000 miles before you're back at this decision point. The catch: this only works if the pack is caught early, before repeated deep discharge cycles damage the healthy cells too. This is one more reason the pre-purchase inspection in Act 3 matters. Here's a detail almost no reviewer mentions, and it changes the entire calculation depending on where you live. Federal law requires hybrid manufacturers to warranty the battery and major hybrid components for a minimum of 8 years or 100,000 miles under emissions warranty rules, because the hybrid battery is legally classified as an emissions control device. But in California and the states that follow California's emissions standards, that warranty is often extended to 10 years or 150,000 miles. This means the exact same used Prius can have dramatically different risk profiles depending on which state it was originally sold in. A car that's 105,000 miles and out of warranty in Texas might still be fully covered if it was originally registered in California, Oregon, or one of the other Carboline states, even after changing hands multiple times, because the warranty attaches to the vehicle, not the original owner. Before you walk away from a listing because the mileage looks scary, check 2 things: the state the car was originally sold in, and the specific battery warranty terms for that model year. Everything so far is focused on hybrids, but full EVs carry their own separate risk profile, and it's worth breaking out on its own because the failure economics are different in an important way. The good news first: EVs have dramatically fewer moving parts than hybrids or gas cars. No timing belt, no water pump for combustion engine, no transmission in most cases, no exhaust system, no traditional alternator. Fewer parts generally means fewer failure points, and this is real, not marketing. The bad news is concentration risk. Where a gas car spreads its expensive failure points across several systems, engine, transmission, electrical, an EV concentrates almost all of its risk into one component, the battery pack. When that one system is healthy, an EV can be remarkably cheap to run. When it isn't, There is no cheaper alternative repair path the way there sometimes is with a hybrid smaller secondary battery. 3 additional EV-specific line items to know. Degradation versus failure. EV batteries don't usually die suddenly. They degrade gradually, losing range over time. A pack rated for 250 miles at delivery might deliver 220 miles at 80,000 miles. That's not a failure you'll get warranty coverage for in most cases. Most EV battery warranties, typically 8 years per 100,000 miles, only trigger replacement if capacity drops below a hard threshold, often 70%. Charging port and onboard charger failures. These are the EV equivalent to the hybrid's inverter, expensive, and often not something a general mechanic can diagnose. Onboard charger replacement can run $1,200 to $2,500 depending on the model. Software-locked repairs. Some EV manufacturers restrict battery diagnostics and cell-level repair to dealer networks or software-gated tools, meaning even a reparable pack issue, one bad module out of dozens, can force the full pack replacement simply. Let's make this concrete with 3 composite scenarios. Buyer 1, the low-mileage retiree, drives 6,000 miles a year. Annual fuel savings are roughly $280. Break-even takes almost 9 years. Buyer 2, the high-mileage sales representative, drives 24,000 miles a year for work. Annual fuel savings jump to roughly $1,120. Break-even is under 2.3 years. Buyer 3 doesn't check the battery state of health report before buying. 3 years later, capacity has dropped below the replacement threshold. The mistake wasn't buying the EV. The mistake was skipping the 5-minute data poll. To be fair, and a forensic audit has to be fair, there are specific conditions under which buying a used hybrid or EV out of warranty is genuinely a smart move, not a gamble. You're in the clear if the car has a documented battery health report showing current capacity above 85 to 90% of original spec. You're in the clear if you drive 20,000 plus miles a year, where fuel savings compound fast enough to absorb the risk. The trap isn't the hybrid or the EV. The trap is buying either one the same way you buy a gas car, on vibes, on a test drive, on a window sticker, without running the 5 numbers that actually determine the outcome. Before you buy a used hybrid or EV out of warranty, answer 5 questions. 1. What's your annual mileage, and does it clear 20,000, or at least get close? 2. What state was the car originally sold in, and does that extend your warranty coverage? 3. Can the seller produce a battery state of health report, not just a Carfax? 4. What is the specific replacement cost for this battery and this chemistry for this model, not a generic number? And 5. Have you priced that replacement cost into your offer the same way you price in a known future expense? Which type of buyer are you? The one who looks at the MPG sticker, or the one who looks at the liability ledger? Let me know in the comments. Passion meets precision. I'll see you in the next one.